Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we are going to be doing some longer-term technical analysis on Bitcoin because in this video, I want to show you guys a very important cross between some moving averages out on the weekly chart that I've been talking about for the last week or so that I want to bring to your attention and build off of to start discussing whether or not Bitcoin is actually heading into a new bull market, whether or not Bitcoin is actually heading into $20,000, and so that we can lay out exactly the path to get there. I know a lot of you guys are really excited about Bitcoin hopefully breaking $10,000 and rallying beyond it. So in today's video, we are going to be coming to a conclusion about whether or not Bitcoin is going to break out like that, and if so, how far will it go? Guys, as you may know in the last few videos, I've been talking quite extensively about a cross that you've probably never heard of, that being the 50 weekly simple moving average and the 20 weekly exponential moving average. In the history of Bitcoin, those have only crossed bullish 3 times, and every single time they have, it has resulted in a Bitcoin bull market. And it looks to me like in the next couple of weeks, they're about to cross bullish again. So in this video, we're going to be discussing whether or not this, the golden cross, and everything else bullish and technical on Bitcoin is calling for a Bitcoin bull market or not. Guys, I think you're going to get a lot of good value out of this video. If you do, as always, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and hit those post notifications so you'll be updated every single time a new video goes live. And before we dive on into it, guys, I do first just want to mention that the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy is now on sale. If you guys are interested in learning everything you need to know about technical analysis and speeding up your process of learning these markets so that you can get to profiting a lot quicker, then I would highly encourage you to check us out at the link in the description down below. More on that at the end of the video, but for now though, guys, without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. I swear, I'm telling you, I love saying that intro. Like I told you about a week ago, I thought it'd get old saying it doesn't get old. It's just you know, it's almost as good as coffee. Almost. Nothing's better than coffee, but almost. Anyway, guys, let's not waste any time. As you can see, we are seeing this cross coming in on the 20 weekly and the 50 weekly out here on, well, you guessed it, the weekly chart. If we extrapolate out these two moving averages, we are probably expecting a cross between these two sometime this month. If you want to see all of the bullish technicals on Bitcoin, go back to the last few videos we've done because I've talked about like 15 bullish technicals that are pointing to the upside. One thing to note, guys, Bitcoin technicals are looking very bullish. There's a lot of debate about whether or not the fundamentals on Bitcoin look good right now. The Bitcoin fundamentals look great, in my opinion. I think most people agree on that with the hash rate, stock to flow, etc. However, global fundamentals, whether or not those are bullish for Bitcoin, that is a hot button topic, and we are probably going to be addressing that in tomorrow's video. But let's just assume for a second that over the course of the next 6 months or so, everything starts going back to normal, whatever normal is going to be after all of this is over. The economy starts to flatten out and everything's just a little bit chill. We're still going to have time to recover from all of this. But let's assume the fundamentals on the global stage are not affecting Bitcoin for one reason or another. Either they started to get better or they are just decoupling themselves from Bitcoin. Rather, Bitcoin's decoupled from them. In that case, guys, where does Bitcoin go from here? Well, there is one period of the market that we simply have to look at to answer this question, and that would be right around here. Because, guys, as we've talked about in previous videos, Bitcoin had this massive rally. We rallied 300%, but we had no corrections in here. No 1, 2, 3, 4 week corrections to allow the bears to reset the power in the market. Likewise, we saw many long upper shadows over in this period of the market, indicating that the market was getting overbought, and the bears were about to take control back. As you guys can see, coming into the end of this consolidation pattern, we are seeing a massive upper shadow. Now, while I think we're really mirroring in our current market, this market over here, in the idea that we're not having any kind of major corrections, I actually think it's a good thing for the short term because it allows Bitcoin to break through and get far above all of our major levels of support and resistance so that we can actually use them as support and not have to worry about trying to get through them in the future or falling below them when we do have that correction. For example, right now, if Bitcoin were to have a major correction, we would be able to fall 15% before we even got to the 200 daily moving average, which we most certainly do not want to be below in a bull market. But guys, at the end of the day, the next couple of months for Bitcoin are going to be determined in the next couple of days. That is my call on this because Bitcoin is getting very close to the end of this consolidation pattern. At some point over the next 2 weeks, probably the next week to be honest, I can foresee a massive breakout coming to the upside or to the downside. There is argument, and a valid one at that, to say that Bitcoin is going to break to the upside or to the downside, but I want to weigh in on a third option, that's two, a third option that you guys probably aren't familiar with. When Bitcoin gets very far into a consolidation pattern, you have to remember that random chance and bull and bear whales actually become very powerful in the market. The reason for that being is that if a massive bull whale comes in, I really want to see an artist rendition of what a bull whale would look like, by the way. You got like a whale just kind of Trojan along, he's got some bullhorn. Anyway, never mind. Let's say you got a bull whale. He comes in, he buys $400 million worth of Bitcoin, or $40 million worth of Bitcoin, $160 million worth of Bitcoin. Bitcoin jumps $500, and from there we broke levels of resistance. Everybody's like, okay, the bull market's starting, time to buy in, and then all of a sudden you're at $12,000. That happens a lot. But on the other side of the same token, you might see some of these whales that are up 100% on a $200 million investment they made down here. They're sitting on $100 million worth of profit, and they're like, okay, I'm just going to go dump a bunch of Bitcoin, and then I'm going to open a short position to take advantage of the dump that I'm going to cause over on Bybit or BitMEX or somewhere. And then Bitcoin falls out of this triangle pattern. The point here, guys, is that when Bitcoin gets very, very far into these consolidation patterns, it takes 2% to the upside, 2 or 3% to the downside, and you're breaking a vital level of support and resistance. And then once you do that, there's a pretty good chance that the dominoes start to fall, and even if all the technicals were bullish, if everybody's selling, does it really matter? No, it doesn't. So guys, market analysis and wisdom go very, very much hand in hand. You need to have some wisdom about how these markets work. Technical analysis is very important, but you have to look at its applications. At the end of the day, the market does not follow technical analysis. It follows the trades that are going on exchange. If everybody is selling, the technical indicators have no power because nobody is trading based off of them. In the same way that history is a great predictor of what will happen if you do certain things in your nation, it doesn't matter if nobody is actually paying attention to it or learning from it. So that's the first point I need to make before we even continue on with this, is that Bitcoin having a breakout in the next week or two is going to be very important, and which direction Bitcoin breaks out is going to be even more important than that. And I also need you guys to understand that the breakout direction is looking like it should be bullish based on the technicals, except the TD sequential, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. We're getting to a point where the closer you get to the apex of a consolidation pattern, the more likely it is that random chance becomes involved, and that Bitcoin can break either direction, and it's just going to ignore the technicals and then redefine the technical landscape after it's chosen that new direction. I hope that made sense. But anyway, let's assume that Bitcoin breaks to the upside and follows the technicals. From there, what happens? Well, I'll tell you what happens. Bitcoin breaks the largest downtrending level of resistance in the history of the cryptocurrency. This has been in effect since December 17th, 2017. When Bitcoin conclusively breaks resistance levels, you are normally going to see a proportionally sized breakout compared to the strength of the resistance. This is an extremely strong level of resistance, so if Bitcoin breaks it, we should expect a massive move to the upside over a similarly massive period of time, maybe several months. Should Bitcoin break above that level of resistance, this zone of resistance that is important will probably fall also, simply because we've just broken the major resistance, and this one will fall too because we're having a bull rally at this point. And from there, if Bitcoin can do that, then we'll start breaking $10,500, and you'll hear everybody saying, oh, we just set a new yearly high, which right now we've set a yearly double top high. Guys, the point I'm trying to make here is that if Bitcoin gets like to $11,000, even if it doesn't stay up there for very long, that is going to be huge, because what that means is that we've broken the yearly high, we've broken the high that has been in effect for the last several months. Ever since October, about $10,550 has been the absolute local high. And also, guys, if we get up there, then that rules out, or kind of rules out, the idea of an inverse head and shoulders pattern that a lot of you guys have been pointing out to me like that. Guys, when we're looking at the bullish and the bearish case on the long term here, I think we're actually looking at two bullish cases, because we're talking about either Bitcoin rallies through the rest of 2020 or Bitcoin corrects through the rest of 2020 and then probably rallies through 2021. Because at the end of the day, Bitcoin on the long term, we're talking on the scale of years, always follows the fundamentals. And the fundamentals on Bitcoin have been doing nothing but improving over the last 2.5 years, that Bitcoin has been in this long-term downtrend since $20,000. Eventually, Bitcoin is going to return to $20,000 because we got there once on inferior fundamentals than we have now. There's no reason to believe that we're not going to get there again unless something catastrophic happens in the world. I mean, you know, we're getting so close to like the world ending, but anything short of the world ending, Bitcoin should go back to $20,000 relatively soon. By relatively soon, I'm talking on a cosmic timescale. I'm talking about like the next 2 years or so. But guys, at the end of the day, all of this technical analysis is very important to understand. It's important to understand the random chance that goes into consolidation patterns. It's important to understand how Bitcoin breaks levels of resistance. It's important to understand how dominoes start falling and markets start moving, and how people and how markets don't actually respond to technical analysis, but how they respond to the traders. All of that's important to understand. But what's even more important to understand is this, guys. Investing in a market that is as new as cryptocurrency is not as safe as the stock market. And it's not going to feel as safe as investing in the stock market. If you would have invested in the S&P 500 90 days ago, you'd be up 50% right now. We can argue all day about whether or not that's manipulation, whether or not that is justified. I would agree with you on the most part that the S&P 500 really should not be sitting where it is right now, considering the state of the world. It kind of shows you just how decoupled the stock market is from the real world. However, the same thing is going to happen on Bitcoin. Every single technical and fundamental indicator on Bitcoin are saying that in the next 10 years, Bitcoin is going to do nothing but generally grow. The space has gotten larger, the fundamentals have gotten stronger, the infrastructure is being built, and the adoption is incoming. It is a matter of faith. Do you have faith in the project? By the way, you don't have to have faith in the project. It's okay to say no, but if you're going to have faith in the project, you have to act on that. You have to act like you have faith in the project. A lot of people see Bitcoin have corrections and they say, okay, I'm gone. I'm going to head for the hills. I've been here for, like 10 minutes and nothing crazy happened. I'm done. This isn't for me. I'm going to go and try out one of the get-rich-quick schemes and lose all my life savings because of that. Guys, look. Making money in the real world is a lot harder than people make it look in YouTube ads. There's a reason that we never run YouTube ads for CT2A. It's because most of the people that run ads for courses are trying to sell them as if it's a get-rich-quick scheme. CT2A is going to help you in your journey. It's going to make it a lot easier to understand the market so that you can profit in them. It's going to cut down the learning curve from like this to like that. It's exactly why we made it, but it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's going to take delayed gratification. It's going to take hard work. It's going to take discipline. It's going to take of faith in the project. And not blind faith, by the way. It's going to take a founded faith. You need to have researched this stuff. Guys, if you want to profit in cryptocurrency markets, if you want to make the most out of these markets, you can do it. I believe in you. I've said that in many videos, and I'm going to keep saying it because, like I said, some of you guys, a few of you guys, maybe a lot of you guys watching these videos have probably never heard anyone say that. So I'm going to say it. I have seen people from all walks of life, all backgrounds, come to cryptocurrency and make a lot of money and do very well for themselves. I think that a major Bitcoin bull market is coming, and I do think that it is going to bring us back to $20,000 and beyond, but it will take patience. At the end of the day, the patient one is the one who makes the money. The overnight success story had 10 years of hard, long nights behind it. And I'm going to end on this. Every single person that you have ever seen that is successful, they all got successful in a plethora of different ways. They invested in every industry. They worked in every field. But one thing every successful person does, look at any name. I mean, I'm just thinking of some, Richard Branson, Steve Jobs, Mark Cuban, Donald Trump, whoever. Regardless of politics, regardless of culture, background, nationality, the period of history they were born in, every single successful person in the history of humankind who is not literally born into a royal family, they all share one trait, among several others, but one of the biggest important traits that they share is a love of education and self-improvement. And guys, that right there is why we created the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. Guys, I've always been of the opinion that the best investment you will ever make is an investment in yourself, and if you want to learn technical analysis, it is going to be hard. I've told you that before, but it is something that is very much possible. I want you guys to not only have faith in Bitcoin, but have faith in yourself, because I know you can do this. I know a lot of you guys watching these videos are newer to cryptocurrency, and I know that you can be profitable and do very well in these markets, but it is going to take time, it is going to take work, it is going to take effort, and I'm not here to be a snake oil salesman and tell you, oh, you take my course and you're going to be a perfect profitable trader in a week. I'm not going to try and imply that. I am going to tell you that even with CT2A, it is going to take work, but it's going to be a lot easier than if you tried to learn it on your own. Someone asked me in the comment section yesterday, and by the way, what I'm about to say, most people that sell courses are like, whoa, don't put that on screen. You should never bring up that people have that. I'm going to say it because you guys know that I'm trying to be as honest and open as possible. Someone in the comment section of yesterday's video said, well, if you didn't have a course to learn, why should we take your course to learn if you learned it on your own? Doesn't that mean that you're contradicting yourself, Jeb? It was something to that effect. I don't want to misquote the person who was saying this because they were very respectful and they are a fan of the channel. My response to that about you not needing a course to learn how to do technical analysis is, you're right. You don't. But I will tell you this. It's a very good idea to take one. Here's the reason. How much is your time worth to you? Most people would say, most people, their time is at least worth $9 an hour to them because that's what minimum wage is and they wouldn't work for anything less than that. Let's assume at the very least your time is worth $9 an hour to you. Better yet, let's say that your time is worth $25 an hour because a lot of people in America, that's probably around the average of what people make. Let's do some math. It probably took me, I'm going to conservatively say about 2,000 hours to learn everything in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, learning it on my own by watching videos and trading and building the experience and researching and finding the answer to questions that for a long time I didn't know I should have been asking, like, what is the VPVR? I didn't know to ask that question because I'd never heard of it before. Let's say we have 2,000 hours that it took me to do this. Let's say our time is worth, at minimum, $9 an hour. That means that if I were working minimum wage, I could have gone out and made $18,000 in those 2,000 hours, multiplied by 0.9 for taxes, and I could have made $16,000 profit in those 2,000 hours. Instead of doing that, I decided to go ahead and invest it in cryptocurrency, and it has brought a lot more money than that to me. Now, Let's also remember this. Time is very valuable for more reasons than just money because you only have so much time. That's honestly of infinite value. The more time you can save doing something that you don't need to do, the more time you can spend enjoying your life and making memories. After the $40 off coupon code, June 2020, for CT2A is $209. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm pretty quick at learning things, but there's a lot to learn here. It's a very steep learning curve, and it's very easy to lose faith in the process. By God's grace alone and by luck alone, I was able to stick through this and learn it, and it has brought amazing things to me. But I want you to understand that it is not going to be easy, and it is going to be very tempting to quit. I would rather lose half of my sales and be honest with you guys and tell you exactly how it is and be straight up with you and tell you that yes, you can find probably about half of what's in CT2A on Google. You can figure out how to calculate the RSI. You can figure out what RSI divergence is. That's why I don't actually factor those videos into the price of the Academy. The only thing I actually use to factor in the price of the Academy is things I learned through experience that you're not going to find on Google because nobody really thinks to share their experience, and when they do, it's always behind a multi-$1,000 paywall. We're charging a tenth of what a lot of cryptocurrency courses are charging in this space. So ask yourself the question, is it worth couple thousand hours to learn all of this on your own? Is it, I mean, let's say I'm wrong on that. Let's say, is it worth 200 hours to learn all of this on your own? 200 times 9 is still $1,800. The Academy's $209. Do you want to save yourself 5 weeks of working 40 hours a week of time and go through 10 hours of content and learn it all that way? Guys, I think it's I respectfully to the commenter, I think it's silly to bash courses and say, oh, you don't need to do that. It's not that you need to do it. You don't need to go through the CT2A. But I promise you, it's going to help a whole lot. So guys, that's up to you. I hope you did enjoy today's video. Like I said, the next couple of months, I'm just going to be open and honest with you guys on this. The next couple of months are going to be a little rocky because both of our editors are like really busy right now. I'm really busy right now. We're trying to get the office and everything up to speed. Things are probably going to be a little bit weird for the next 2 months up until the beginning of August, really. But after that, guys, everybody's going to be back in town. We're going to be moving into the office. We're going to be doing a lot of really awesome things. So just stick in there. Bear with me. I've been telling you guys for a long time now that this is going to be a great year for the channel, and we're going to have a lot of fun in spite of all of the sad, terrible things that are going on in the world right now. Give us till about August, and we are going to be doing some amazing content here. We're already making good content, I think, but we're going to be making it even better. By the way, to wrap the video out with this, I want you guys to leave constructive criticism in the comment section down below. I want you to tell me, hey, Jebb, here's what you can do better on the videos. Hey, Jebb, here's a video topic that you can make. I love hearing that stuff. If it's actually coming from a place of constructivity, is that a real word? If it's actually coming from a place of trying to be constructive, let's say it that way, I absolutely love those comments. So let us know what you think we can do better in the comment section down below. Anyway, guys, that is going to wrap it out for today's video. If you're interested in joining CT2A, hit the link in the description down below and use June 2020 at checkout. Feel free to email me at cryptojebb@gmail.com if you have any more questions. But for now, though, guys, that is going to wrap it out for today's video. As always, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.